The FPL experts are looking at the top midfield targets once again with 3 free transfers to use ahead of FPL Gameweek 8. Help me get this one to 500 likes and subscribe to the channel. Let's get into it. Starting off with the budget midfielders, I've altered the parameters this week to those priced under 7 million, and it's fairly conclusive where the experts want to go. 69% voting for Spurs' Brennan Johnson, who remains a differential despite a great run of form, and Spurs have one of the best fixture runs over the next 4 game weeks as well. Feels like the stars are aligning for him. In joint second place, we've got Aston Villa's Morgan Rogers, who continues to make a mockery of his low price tag, and alongside him it's McNeil, who's playing very advanced in the number 10 role at Everton and certainly benefiting from the return to fitness of Dominic Calvert-Lewin. Moving on to the midfielders priced between 7 and 9 million, and very little change from game week 7. It's 88% of the vote going to Brentford's Brian Mbeumo, and it's hard to argue with that given his form. Also, Brentford love to score in the opening minute of the game, which has become a great trend over the last few weeks to bank some early fancy points. James Maddison and Jared Bowen, the other considerations at this price point. But the big one is the premium picks. These are the players priced over 9 million. Now, things are a lot more conclusive than we saw a few weeks ago with this one. Cole Palmer comfortably ahead now with 69% of the votes, ahead of Saka on 19% of the vote. Perhaps here the injury flag to Saka has seen Palmer truly ascend, and Salah, the most expensive of the trio, in third place. I think the thing is here is if you own Salah, it's very difficult to get a Palmer or a Saka in alongside him. Whereas if you go without Salah, then you can probably own both. Game week 7 brought a green arrow for the experts team with 52 points, still at 3.5 million, so plenty of work to do. But we still look in good shape. There was important points in the defence for Trent, another clean sheet for Liverpool. That's 5 now in 7 games this season. Rico Lewis popping up with an assist, which was much needed. And at least in the defence, we got the benching order correct. Into the attack, and some big scores from Mbeumo and Saka, but a blank for Captain Haaland. We also benched Chris Wood for his 8-pointer. A new leader at the top of the charts, it's FPL Tips, the YouTube account. 77 points, helped by Captain Saka. Sees him overtake Mahmoud, the Arabic FPL account, to go into top spot. I think he's around 1.5k in the world. Mahmoud is in 5k in the world, so both doing very well. FPL Mez has moved up, as has FPL Zlatan. FPL Juice remains firm in 5th place. It's a slip down for Aiden, but we also see Rich FPL move into the top 10 for the first time this season, I believe, and I think Jordan Pickford 15-pointer definitely helped. We also see Andy Martin back in, famously, or perhaps infamously, but it doesn't seem to be hindering him at the moment, going with a no Haaland team this season, with Jean Batra in 10th place around 150k. In the mini league, the community team is only in 63rd place on 409 points. Let me know in the comments if you're beating the community team, and I especially want to hear from people whose score and rank would get them into the top 10 in this invitational league. Transfer plans then, as I mentioned, 3 free transfers, 0.0 million in the bank. Interestingly, even with a stack of transfers, half of the experts are suggesting we roll the transfer this week, with the other key transfer consideration is whether to move off Luis Diaz. Obviously, he found himself benched in the last game, came on for a 1-pointer, and it's Chelsea at home up next for him. Also, a little bit of potential moves elsewhere in the team to free up funds further forward. If we look at the transfers in, I guess the popular move here is to go from Diaz to Johnson, but rolling over making that move is even more popular at the moment. Palmer, a target for some of the experts here with a little bit of rejigging of funds with Vandenberg. Eze, Kulusevski and Vardiol also in a few thoughts from the experts as well, but it looks very likely that we're going to be rolling that transfer this week. Let's have a look at how the team shapes up then, and again a number of benching dilemmas across the squad, but we are going to play Raya away at Bournemouth over Flecken, who travels to Old Trafford. Into the defence, and a big decision to make here. We've got home games for Porro and Trent. It's hard to deny starting them, or Gabriel for Bournemouth away. So Lewis makes his way to the bench as first sub for Wolves away. There's always question marks on his minutes, particularly coming out of the international break, and Greaves remains as our final sub on the bench, but a decent fixture for him actually against Everton at home. Moving in to the midfield, and we're switching back to a 3-4-3 this week. So Diaz does start along with Mbeumo, Rodgers and Saka, with the majority of the experts comfortable with benching Semenyo out of this strong front eight, and that means that we've got a front three of Haaland, Chris Wood, high hopes for him at home to Crystal Palace, and Calvert-Lewin away at Ipswich. I think if you look at the fixtures, most of the players that have got an away game have got a good away game. Those at home obviously have that home advantage as well. When it comes to captaincy, the experts were unanimous to give Haaland the armband, probably giving the vice captain to Saka, given he was the highest scoring player last time out. Let me know in the comments then how you fare against the experts team, and make sure you subscribe, because I'll be back tomorrow with my own team selection, and then on Friday you need to hit the notify button for a very special charity stream. I'm going to be streaming for around about 5 hours to cover all of the Friday press conferences, and hoping to raise a ton of cash for my chosen charity, Cancer Research UK. It'd be great to see you there. Thank you for watching.